You ready for the inside scoop on how to sell your home with the best pricing strategies? And why might your agreeable real estate agent actually sabotage your home sale? Spilling all the secrets on this one, so let's go. Hello friends, it's Bill Warrell, your Bradenton and Sarasota Realtor. You know, a few years ago, it was extremely easy to be a Florida realtor. You barely had the opportunity to put a sign in the ground and buyers would practically throw money at you in an attempt to be the highest bidder. Extremely low inventory and extremely low rates came together to make sure that my realtor friends and I remained well fed. Well, times have changed. The local market has built up a larger inventory, rates are almost double now, and now is when those agents are being put to the test. As we work together on selling your home, let's take a look at the 4 people that we need to sell it to. That's right, 4 people at minimum. First, we need you, the seller, to buy into the price of your home. We do this by compiling a competitive market analysis. Within this analysis, we provide current market statistics to help identify where the market has been and where it's going. We provide detail about sold comparable homes, pending comparable homes, and active comparable homes that you may be competing with. We compile the data and present you with a recommended list price for your home. I've seen agents and Zillow plug in an address and spit this information out. However, our brokerage and agents manually compile this information to ensure its comparable nature to your home. We want you to feel comfortable with the amount of work that we've put in to make sure that the price we've reached is a fair one. Second, we need to sell your home to a buyer. We begin by backing into the most important factor that a buyer looks at when buying a home, the price. Now maybe someday I'll be able to look off into the distance while pumping gas and not have to worry about the price going up. Maybe someday I'll be able to point to a house and say that's the one I want and it doesn't matter what it costs. Maybe. Someday, but not today. So you want to sell your home. Well, in order to sell your home, we need a contract with a buyer. In order to get a contract, we need someone to make an offer. In order to get an offer from someone, we need to show the home. And what's going to make someone get up off the couch and come see the home? A marketable price. Face it, quite a bit of selling is done over the internet, and if a buyer checks out Zillow and decides that they just love your kitchen, but then sees that the home is listed at an unreasonable price, they're not going to bother pursuing it. Of course, you as a seller want the most money for your home, I get that. However, no amount of color postcards and fancy marketing will overcome an overpriced home. The third person we need to sell it to is the buyer's agent. Listen, this part is dirty, so if you want to skip ahead, I get it. Some of what I'm about to say will probably get me in trouble, and it's one of the reasons for a slew of new National Association of Realtor rules that came out this past year. For years and years, there was an industry standard when it came to realtor commissions. Our industry hates the term standard because it sounds bad, but there was an unwritten standard. The 6% commission. The breakdown was usually 3% to the listing agent and 3% to the buyer's agent to bring a buyer. To combat this unwritten rule, an actual rule came out this past year to change up how brokers were offering commissions to other brokers as compensation. Sellers are not required in any way to offer a 3% co-broker commission. However, many still are in an effort to remain competitive. If I were selling my home and decided to offer a commission to the buyer's agent in the amount of 1%, and the other 3 homes on my street were offering 3%, which home do you think the agent would highlight? Now, I'm not offering my personal opinion. No, wait. No, yes, I am. That's kind of slimy. You're supposed to be doing what's in your buyer's best interests. You show homes that your buyer wants to see, and you don't put integrity ahead of your wallet. That's just how business should be done. Talking about this makes me feel like I need to look over my shoulder while I'm walking down the street. If anything happens to me, you'll know it was big real estate that did me in. Anyway, the seller should be offering a fair and competitive commission to the buyer's agent to help get their home sold. And the fourth person that we need to sell it to is the buyer's father or father-in-law, because he will inspect that home better than anyone else. I'm kidding. Kind of. We need to sell it to the bank appraiser. An overwhelming percentage of homes purchased are done so via financing. Part of the financing process, which is a mortgage taken from your bank, is the appraisal, and that's important for a number of reasons. If a bank is going to lend you money for your home, they need to know how much your home is worth. They will send an appraiser to your house who will use many of the comparable homes we pulled for a market analysis and do a more thorough review to determine the value of your home. They're obviously not going to lend you $500,000 to purchase a home that's only worth $400,000. That's how they protect their interests. And I bring this up because in an ever-increasing effort to pull as much money out of the home, a seller will sometimes want to list their home for a much higher price than it's worth. Usually because they either want more money, which is completely understandable, or because they want to leave some room for negotiation. Let's dig into why that strategy doesn't make much sense. Let's say I put together a market analysis of your home and determine a reasonable price is $500,000. You explain that you'd like to sell it with me, but you'd like to list it for $575,000. In an effort to be agreeable, I say okay, and we list for $575,000. Here's some options as I've seen them play out. The buyer looks at the home online and determines that it's not worth $575,000, so they keep on scrolling. The buyer says, let's go check it out. They schedule a showing and realize it's priced too high, so they keep shopping. The buyer says, let's go check it out. They schedule a showing and realize it's priced too high, so they consider making a lowball offer. The buyer says, let's go check it out. They schedule a showing and offer full asking price. Home gets taken off the market, and during the financing process, the appraiser says that the home is only worth $500,000. You must now either lower the price and continue with the sale, or let the buyer walk away and lose the sale. You then would need to drop the price and relist, or keep that price high in hopes that someone buying in cash walks by and doesn't ask any questions. The inevitable obstacle when listing too high is time. Might someone walk by with $575,000 in cash and want to buy your home, no questions asked? Sure, it could happen. Not likely, but it could happen. And so the home sits on the market. Days turn to weeks and weeks to months. Statistics show that a home gets 79% of its showing activity in the first 30 days of hitting the market. If you were shopping for a home and saw a home on the market for 90 plus days, what would you think about it? Yup. Either something's wrong with it or it's priced too high. These may sound like a lot of what ifs, but they're all very real scenarios that I've seen play out. The best way to sell your home to a bank appraiser is to set it at a reasonable and marketable price right from the start. One other thing I've seen is other agents who will take a seller up on their plan to list at such a high amount, and that's called buying the listing. Using that previous scenario, let's say we've determined a price for your home at $500,000 and you want to list it for $575,000. The agent says out loud, sure, we can do that, while inside they're saying, there's no way in hell it's going to sell for that. Their goal is not to sell your home. They're looking at the bigger picture here, and it doesn't benefit you as the seller one bit. They list your home, put a sign on the yard, and it sits. And it sits. And it sits. 3, 4, 5 months go by and it doesn't sell, but they don't really care because in the meantime, they're holding an open house and bringing in buyers. They're getting free advertising by leaving their sign in your yard for every passerby to look at. They want to sell a house, just not necessarily yours. All right, listen, I've painted a large enough target on my back right now, and it seems like an appropriate time to wind down. We've covered a lot in this video, so if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, I'm here to serve. You can comment on this video, you can email me here, you can visit me here, or you can text me over here. Thanks for watching.